I am Alonzo Stevenson, aka Lonnie Stevenson. I'm a writer and director. That's what I do. Is that good for you? All right.
Now tell me how you're related to Mickey Stevenson.
Mickey is my big brother. Genuinely, actually, family.
Tell me about a childhood, your childhood with Mickey and your mom and your baby brother. Baby brother?
Yeah, my baby brother. My fondest memory is, of course, we were the Stevenson Trio.
I want you to look at me.
Okay, well,
And,
I got trying to think of some of these images.
I know, everybody
Yeah.
does that when they're thinking.
Yeah. We were a trio, a singing group. We were kids, very little kids. And we became the winning singing group of 3 states, Ohio, Illinois, and Michigan. So as little kids, we were going to doing amateur shows, and then they would call us in other cities, and we just thought we was, because we would win all the money up against, at that time, not knowing that Smokey and them was, Smokey had his group and Levi had his group, but the Stevenson Trio was kicking butt, and that was just a joy because we had to rehearse every day. And our relationship became very tight on one end and very competitive on the other because everybody wanted to do the lead. And of course, I chose to have a bad ear, so I got a lot of leads. So that's my 2 brothers who have always been a joy.
Talk about your mother.
Talk about my mother.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my mother was my mother and a great lady. A very talented lady, a very talented writer, talented singer, very loving and caring, and who raised not just us, but 3 or 4, quote, cousins. There was always cousins in the house. Orphans, in other words. She raised us all. And
say her name.
Kitty Stevenson, singer, writer, mama.
Would you describe your family as a sort of an entertainment family?
An entertainment family, aunts, uncles, everybody seemed to be an entertainer. A very competitive family. There were games going on all the time with so-called uncles and aunts, who of course weren't uncles and aunts, but they were famous people. And we didn't know this because we were kids. But all our friends would want to come to our house, and their parents would want to come to our house. So we knew something was different. We just thought it was our mom. But it was also all her friends. And there was always games, all kind of games. As little kids, we were playing chess and poker, gambling, with whatever. And word games. It's a very competitive academic household and strange way to be a musical family.
Your mom died when you were very young.
Yes.
What happened to your family after that?
Well, my grandmother, my father's mom, raised us. And then, of course, all the strange, there was not a lot, but entertainers created a chest for us kids, which contained quite a bit of money. So members of, quote, the family was going after it to who's going to raise us. And so my grandmother said, y'all can take it, I'll just raise them. Which put quite a burden on her, but she did it. And
what was your grandmother's name?
Roxie Stevenson. the rock. Very, very, very religious lady. I was in church 5 days a week. Mickey, of course, too. And that's always been the major difference between us, because I enjoyed the community of the church, because being a political, competitive dude, I would run for everything. President of Christian Endeavor, president of the young NAACP, president of this, and I would win, so I'd get to travel around the world, and that I loved. I guess that was the beginning of my thirst for the artistry that I felt within me.
You're a director, primarily.
Yes.
I always think of you as a director, so I don't know if that's primarily or just my notion, you know.
Primarily, I think I'm a writer who loves to direct. Yeah, I love to direct. There it is again, because I love the competitiveness of getting people to bring out what I think is the best in them.
Okay. What were you doing while Mickey was at Motown?
You know, it's funny. I was out here at UCLA, and because I wanted to get away from Detroit. I felt if I stayed in Detroit, I'm a goner, you know. So I left, came out here, went to school, went to New York, and I was talking to my brother, and he says, "What do you think of my record?" I went, "What record?" And he said, "With the Supremes." I said, "Oh, those girls." Said, "Yeah." I said, "What do you mean that's your record?" I wasn't up on Motown. It was the shock of my life. You know, I said, "You do all that?" He went, "Yeah." And I went, "Whoa." Then, of course, I just told everybody in New York City, "That's my brother. That's his record." Blah, 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 you know, and went on like that. And he was doing Motown, and I was doing what I could for me.
What else do I need? Describe your brother in a couple of words.
There used to be a joke where he was known as, quote, Mickey Daddy, you know. And he took that role very seriously with me. I don't know. Okay, let me try and explain it. As kids, he and I were very, very close, but we never ran in the same circle, you know. So we would argue a lot, fight a lot, but talk to each other a lot about who we were. And then he went into service, and suddenly I was alone. A very weird thing, you know, like, because I'm used to dealing with him every day, every night, you know, just fight, whatever. There's a relationship going on. And that was gone. And then I realized how much I loved and missed my brother. You know, so I started writing him every other day, you know. And of course, he's like, "Get over it." But, you know, of course, he was writing back, so obviously he was in the same place, a different way. Now, what was your question? I got off on a rant.
Describe Mickey in a couple words.
In a couple of words.
Yeah, I know it's impossible.
Yeah, that's difficult.
But you were going with the Mickey Daddy thing.
No, I was going with the Mickey Daddy thing because he's been a big brother in the sense that he's always felt responsible for me. You know, to the point where I began to relate to him like, "I want to do so and so and so and so. What do you think? How much do you need?" So he supported whatever I did. That's Mickey Daddy. You know, my father wasn't around to do it. And when he was around, he didn't do it. So he took that role. To this day, and I don't know, I'm damn near as old as Mickey, but he still plays Mickey Daddy.
He does it to me too.
Oh, he does?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, he's been doing it all my life.
Well, with much more intensity with you than with me. But he cares about the people that he cares about.
Yeah, he's got great love.